Hello and welcome to the Watch for Crappens Love Island experience. I'm Ben, that's Ronnie. We are here. It's finale day. Well, it's actually post-finale day. The finale just happened last night and we're here to break it all down. Ronnie, you have just survived your first Love Island finale. How are you doing? Are you alive? Are you okay? Are you gutted? Are you happy? Are you sad?
I'm just so happy for everybody. They found the ultimate prize. Love, guys. True love that has nothing to do with Instagram likes or TV popularity or winning votes from America. It was really touching, actually. How do you feel?
Well, I'm doing okay. I was very happy. Okay, first of all, I was very happy with the couple who won. I was very happy with, I'm going to say it. Okay, you got 5 seconds left before you, okay, now it's over. Cordell and Serena, like I was very, like they were my picks to win. I was real picks because I wanted them to win, picks of who I thought we were going to win. I was really, really happy with that.
I was happy with that too. Yeah.
I was delighted. I was shocked, honestly, that Kendall and Nicole were placed fourth because, like, they were like, it's mainly Kendall's fault. Nicole's fine, but like Kendall's super annoying. But I thought that like they got such a nice edit over the past 2 weeks. I was like, for sure they're going to be number two. But they were first ones out, which surprised
I'm not
me.
surprised at all, and I think actually she fucked it up. And
Really?
yeah, I think that he fucked it up generally the whole season. That whole like rooting for the guys to kind of cheat on their girls or whatever that he was doing before. And I think he was doing that, now that I think about it, to try and win the game, right? Because he was trying to like have the only solid relationship. Whatever he was doing, I think he was kind of fucking with people in that regard, which maybe kind of fucked up their voting. But I think she ultimately did it because, this is where you're trying to prove that you love somebody, whether you do or not. You need to make America believe it. And I think America's like, you better audition and make us believe that you're in love. And so when she refuses to say she's in love, I think what she was thinking is, I'm really competitive and I want to win this shit. So I'm going to withhold my I love you until the season finale. And then it's going to be a big explosive firework. By the way, the fireworks were terrible. It's going to be a big explosive firework of an I love you. But it read like not real. And also, he needs to stop being a fucking stalker. And if they were on a date and he was asking for sex, that would be assault. But instead, it's like he's talking her into saying I love you, so it's okay. It's not okay. That is I love you assault. And I did not like Kendall's whole move of like, you know what? You didn't say I love you to me, but I'm just going to sit here and wait for it. If it's tomorrow, if it's next week, if it's in a year, when you say it back to me, then it's going to be... You fucking weirdo, leave her alone. Take the fucking hint. She didn't say she loves you back because she probably doesn't. You don't just get to come up to her I was triggered by him not leaving her alone until she said, I love you. She's sobbing. She's traumatized. And now she said it. Are you fucking happy? You lost a whole fucking game for yourselves, you stupid couple. I was so mad at them. Can you tell? What was
I know,
that?
I love it. My take is a little different. I mean, I actually found that over the last few episodes, I grew to enjoy Kendall a little bit more. Like, he still was, for sure, of the four, he would have been my fourth place pick as well, because I still find him to be like so annoying and so over the top. But I do actually feel like he's a sweet guy. And I have to say, when he came back from his date and he was like, guys, I told her, I said, I love you. And the guys all hug him. And it's so funny, first of all, side note, that these guys are like, you said I love you? Oh, man. And they're all hugging him. It's just like so funny that like after 6 weeks of being in a villa where all you talk about is your feelings, now these guys who never in the outside world would probably hug someone because they said that they love someone are like, oh my God, bring it in, bro. Bring it in, bro.
Well, that's one of my main questions for the show. Are people like this? Like, are straight people like this?
I've never
this is
seen
what
this
they
before.
do. Like, do they literally sit around and talk like this to each other? Like, bro, what'd you do today? Well, I don't know. I talked to my girl about our feelings, bro. Really, bro? What'd you say about it? I don't know, man. I'm just like, I don't know if I'm vulnerable enough to say it. Are you, man? Come on, man. Be vulnerable. And then they cry on each other. And is this what straight people are doing? Because I'm going to fucking start dating straight people. I just find it so adorable.
It is adorable. I think they just whip themselves into a tizzy because that's all they have. That's what they're there for. That's all they have to talk about. And then it just becomes the most important thing in their lives is like their feelings and if they're in love. It's like when you watch people get really into politics, like when people obsess over the news and headlines. And then next thing you know, like all they talk about is politics. And no matter if you could be talking about Love Island and they'll be saying something like, oh God, they'll say, Kendall is so annoying. Sort of like that policy that they just passed. Am I right? Speaking of which, that's people do that all the time. They like introduce a joke and then they act as if we were talking about it all this time. And they go, speaking of which, what do you guys think about that policy?
Oh my God. Love Island is so long. You know what's even longer? Climate change.
It's like a filibuster. Speaking of filibusters, did you guys see C-SPAN?
You guys, did anybody drop out of the race this weekend? Yeah, I wouldn't know what it's like with people overdoing politics right now in our country. No idea at all.
I know. We wouldn't have any idea. What a weekend. What a blockbuster weekend.
Truly.
The Love Island and Biden finale. But either way, this was all a side note, which is to say, so Kendall tells everyone, oh my God, like I said, I love her. They're like, yeah, bro. And he goes, she didn't say it back. They go, oh.
And then he just starts sobbing. He's like, oh.
He's in the confessional and he's like, yeah, I said I love you. And then, his lips curl down. You know, that's the way his face
he does this
when
like,
he cries.
Oh yeah, he does say, yeah, he has like a tight lip over the teeth too, or he's like,
yeah, and it's like a cartoon mouth. It's like a little bit like a South Park mouth, and he's like, and so he just started like, he got like an emoji sad face, and then he like hung his head, and he was like, and I was like, this sad little nerd. He flew too close to the sun. This is a guy who grew up playing video games, getting yelled at by his sister to get out of here, Kendall. And all of a sudden, he got a glow up, and for a moment, he had a hot girlfriend. He had it all, and then she didn't say "I love you."
Well, he's trying to force it, and I'm sorry to say it again, but it's really bothering me that he's just trying to force it on her because I don't think it's fair. And he knows that he's batting above his average, and he knows he's hitting up, whatever you call it. I don't know sports, so it's really hard for me to do sports things.
Punching down, punching up.
Not punching up, because that's being mean to somebody, right?
No, but I think they say punching, like you're punching up out of your league.
Like, okay, well, yeah, like he's, yeah, okay. So that, she's way, he would never get to date her in normal life, I think. And so he knows that. And so he's trying to get a commitment from her while she's on TV because he knows that she's going to dump. I mean, this is how I'm feeling. I don't know if any of this is true. This is what I'm feeling. I just don't think she likes him. And she keeps making all these comments like, I mean, you're like, you do all this stuff that like normally I would hate, but like with you, it makes me love you even more. You don't like him. Stop trying to talk yourself into liking this guy. She's like, I would never date a guy like you normally. I'd normally date like toxic guys. You're not going to suddenly like Kendall. You're not going to suddenly like somebody following you around, being like, what are you feeling? What are you doing? Do you like me? Oh, you looked at somebody, because you know he's going to be like that. He's going to be like that in the food court. Like, why did you go to the Sbarro line when I went to the Panda Express line? Like, are you sure you don't have a problem with me? Are you sure? Do you want to talk about it? You don't have to talk about it. You don't have to talk about it. We can talk about it later. We don't have to talk about it right now.
Talk about it on your time.
Yeah, I think that like too needy and clingy and weird. It's like he's following around a celebrity.
I think that ultimately what it's going to come down to is that like she's been burned by these awful guys in the past, and she doesn't want to say I love you before she sees how Kendall is in the real world when he's exposed to like all of a sudden Instagram fame, real fame, and all these things. The only thing I really want to talk about with Friday Night Show, because I feel like the hot topic is the finale, but we have to talk about the fact that there was an elimination, a double elimination, and America voted, and the two least popular couples were given the boot. So unsurprisingly, the people given the boot, Aaron and Kaylor, and Rob and Cassie. And I think the thing that was funniest about this was how the producers really played up the bromance between Rob and Aaron. Like the entire episode began with like Rob and Aaron sitting on the dock at night, thinking about the moon, thinking about their times together, and just like staring lovingly in their eyes. And like Aaron could not have been happier. So Rob and Aaron, so they get eliminated. And, you know, again, Aaron, the only time Aaron has ever shed a tear in this game is when he feared that Rob was leaving him. And now they're both eliminated, and Aaron has a big smile on his face because he gets to walk out of the villa with Rob. And it's cool. Kaylor's there too. But Rob, he's mainly happy. He's like, well, at least we get to go back together. And I think Rob says the same thing. He's like, yeah, man, at least we get to go. We get to leave at the same time. I'm like, the two of them, I don't know, I don't know why it makes me so angry. I think bromances are wonderful and they are deserved, and everyone's allowed to have a bromance or a she-mance or whatever we're going to call them. But I think it just speaks to the insincerity of Aaron that he does these horrific things to Kaylor, and he is really just in it for Rob. And then he gives Kaylor a seashell on a necklace, on a chain or something, and that she's like, oh Aaron, look, I can't help it because I love you. It's so fucked how much I love you, Aaron. And he's just gets away with it.
What did he do? Look, I've watched so much of this at this point that I'm like, did he really do anything that bad? I mean, my God. And she still loves it so much. I don't even feel for her at all, especially sitting there because she's so resigned to it. There was one point where they're all sitting together on the Whataburger bench. Did you notice the Whataburger bench? How come nobody glorifies that bench? That bench has the best French fries in the business, the Whataburger bench, the orange and white striped bench. Okay, so they're sitting on that bench. I think it was that. I think they're always sitting on the Whataburger bench in my mind. God, talk about porn during a bonus episode.
I know.
Whataburger. So they're on that bench, and Aaron's like, we go together and Kaylor goes, peanut butter and jelly fog. And
and Rob
goes, you're the Pete of my pod. First of all, you idiot. That doesn't mean anything. I'm the container of your pee. What does that mean? I don't even know what that
child.
means.
You're in my belly.
I'm pregnant. You're my child. You're my oversized pregnancy clothing. And then Kaylor just goes, you're so sensitive, Rob. Is he? But she just seems so resigned to them being in love because they literally just stare at each other the whole time. I mean, they had a whole doc talk where they sat there and they looked into each other's eyes crying, Rob and Aaron, and romantic music played. I was dying. The show is so funny that they made them the main couple who was getting kicked off. I thought it was so cute.
They really leaned into it too. This lady went on to social media and she's like, hi, my friend dated Rob, and I'm here to tell you all about him, which is that he is, she said that he is, if you think that he's, performative now, he's on his best behavior. When he's off camera, it is even worse than usual. And he is so manipulative, and he does not like women. He just wants to make women angry and upset. And she's like, but whatever, I've had enough of it. And it was a quick 30-second video, but she was like, yeah, this guy's the worst, and you're seeing him on his best behavior. And I was like, yes, I love that. I love the trash talking of it. I love the assassination of his character.
Listen, I saw that video. I have to say, where's the gossip here? Do you have anything? Do you have a video that you could post to TikTok of him being like this? I need more than somebody being like, he dated a girlfriend of mine, which, okay, so he broke up with your girlfriend and they broke up, so you're mad at him now. And she's like, she said something like he's mean to girls. I'm like, does he stare off into space and talk about snakes? Because that's what he does on this show. I need evidence. You can't just come on and blast somebody without evidence. Record their ass. You know what I mean? If you don't have anything, here's what I suggest to everybody. If you're getting divorced or if you're in a bad breakup and this person is really good at not giving you evidence, what you should do is put a secret camera in their car, because that's when you see someone's true personality, is when they're in fucking traffic. You can see Ben passively aggressive, give somebody a beep when they cut. This is how Ben gets angry.
I did it this morning.
This is how Ben. And this is why I know I can always be your friend, because your furious anger is this. That's it. I can deal with that. You know what I mean?
Here's the sneaky part about this podcast. If you go onto Reddit or anywhere, they always say, Ronnie says it as Ben's the nice one. And the sneaky trick for everyone is that Ronnie is the nice one. Okay, I am not the nice one. I've conned the entire audience into thinking I'm the nice one. Drive in the car with me.
You're nice.
Drive in the car. No. I am a dick. People don't realize how big of a dick I am, and I honk at old ladies all the time.
Well,
because I'm like, you got to drive faster. I honked.
I like that you specify old ladies. You're like, I can take her.
When we talk about punching up and punching down, well, look, listen, you know what I want? I would like some great affront to fanciness, and then we can all walk outside with top hats and be like, I'm showing my support with a top hat. Then we'll all be like fancy dandies in the street. Anyway, Like someone runs over Mr. Peanut, we all walk out with canes and top hats. Like, I shall not stand for this. So that's a diversion. Division. The other thing I was going to say is, yes, you're right. There wasn't a lot of gossip. It's just like this lady's talking about Rob saying stuff that we already knew. But like sometimes I just need the echo chamber. I need just someone to say, listen, I have a tangential relationship to this person, and what you're feeling is right, and that's all I need, and I'm happy.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah,
that validation I get from a lady in overalls. She was wearing overalls,
she
right?
was.
Or is that just in my imagination?
You know what? I don't know, but now that you said it, I think she is too. I just wanted to hear more. You know what I mean? I don't doubt anything that she said. Of course, Rob's an arrogant piece of shit. He is on the show. I just need evidence. You know what I mean? I feel like we're in a world of cell phone evidence, and everybody else has it. So where's yours? I need it. The Rob. Did you watch the Aftersun show?
I was going to, and then I saw that the finale was 2 hours long, and I also knew I had to watch New Jersey and House of the Dragon and also have some sanity. So I decided I was going to come back to Aftersun after the fact. But so was there anything good on there?
Well, there were two goobers on it from last year, these couples, and they were pretty funny, and their big advice to everybody. She said, "So how do y'all stay together like you do? How do you think you can stay together like you do?
How do you think?
How do you think you can stay together
when we came back here to the villa?
Yeah.
How are your hurts?
There will be a lot of branches. So they were basically, she's like, how do you think you stay together all this time? They've been together since last year. And he's like, I think the really important thing is that like we tell each other that we appreciate each other a lot. She goes, yeah, he does that, and I'll get mad at him. But then at the end, he'll say, I appreciate you. And when we dated, every day he would tell me, I appreciate you. But if he's going to do it, don't you just know that that's bullshit? Like, if you say, like, how we're going to stay together? I'm going to tell you every day I appreciate you, even if I don't. It just sounds so phony and like going through the motions to me. I don't know. It's hard for me to believe it. Like, from watching this show in the beginning, I was starting to believe and love more. And now I'm like, wait a minute. These people are all hoodwinking me because that doesn't even sound real. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's just funny when you hear these, like, 23-year-old, Instagram influencers talking about like their wisdom with love. I'm like, here's who I want to talk to. I want to talk to, I don't know, like the ghost of Jessica Tandy. Like, I want to talk to like an old person. I don't want to talk if you're less than 65 years old. Like, you need to have reached retirement age before you can talk about love authoritatively.
Yeah, exactly. And also, let's see what else happened on there. Rob was on there, of course. Rob and Kayla and Aaron were all on there, of course. And they gave Rob a special pair of overalls, and he was like really touched. And then Rob kept saying this, which made me nuts because he was saying it on the main show too, but he kept going, yeah, like it was really hard for me because like I've been through so much on this show. What have you been through? What are you fucking talking about? You showed up. You're some fucking hot person who showed up and got to make out with a bunch of hot people for a few weeks in Fiji. Like, are we really going to...
6 couples. You were with 6 different women, and in the end, you just had sex. Like,
give me a fucking break, bro.
He literally was through nothing. The biggest hardship that he faced was bawling over Andrea being eliminated, and then he expressed his grief over that situation by then getting with 4 more women and then having sex with another one. So like, if he's gonna say that was the hardest thing for him, it seemed like he really was not having that.
Yeah, he's like, oh, that was so hard. So that was like everybody's like, oh, poor Rob, fucking suckers. And then they were giving him shit about Leah and saying, so everybody thinks you and Leah should really be together. What if Leah ends up coming out and wanting you instead? And he's like, well, I'd be lying if I said I didn't feel something for her, but I'd also be lying if I said that I could see it lasting a long time. So he's still like kind of leaving it open for the audience. Yeah.
Did he say anything about Andrea?
He said that he was really into her. He talked about how he went and hid in the pool, and they're like, why would you hide in a swimming pool? And he's like, 'cause like there's nowhere to be alone. But then like I looked at the swimming pool and there was like a little bridge. And so I thought I could go under there 'cause cameras can't fit. And so I went under there, and they're like, yeah, we saw you. And he's like, you could see me under there. They're like, yeah, there's there's cameras under there. And he's like, oh no, could you hear me under there? And they're like, no, there's no microphones. He's like, good. What do you think he was saying under there?
He was probably reciting the lyrics to some song. Who knows?
He's like, there is a castle on a cloud. There is a place where I can speak.
Itsy bitsy spider is my friend. Yeah, there was something, I got oddly emotional on the Friday night show because before the elimination, they were all sitting around and they were all like cheersing each other. They were like being like reflective. And it made me emotional. Actually, I was like so annoyed that I got emotional because it made me think of the very last night I had in college and how like it was after graduation. It was like the night, like graduation was during the day. It was like a Sunday. At night, it was like, you have to pack up all your stuff and you drive home the next morning. And so I just remember being with my friends and like, you're trying to like make this moment last, you're never going to be in this place again. It's a special place, special time in life. It's a once in a lifetime thing. And you're just like, oh my God. And so when they were all kind of having that moment, I was like thinking back to my moment that I had that was sort of similar to it. And I got emotional. I was like, fuck this show. Why am I actually getting emotional right now?
Yeah. There were definitely some emotional parts to it. It's time for a commercial. It's time for a Crappens commercial. So what else happened in this day before the finale? So there was...
I don't think really anything else... I don't remember. There was something I feel like I was going to say, but I don't remember what it was.
I think my main takeaway... Well, first of all, I have to say, I'm wrong a lot of the time on the show. I was really wrong when I really thought Serena and Cordell at one point sat down, and I thought she was just over it at this point. I thought she was done with him.
And you were like... she was going to take him back.
And you were like, no, she's not... She's not over. She doesn't have the ick. I think she really likes him. She's forgiving him. And I was like, no, that was a totally wrong read. Of course, then she was all in. So I was wrong about that. But one thing I don't think I'm wrong on is this Nicole and Kendall situation. Something is seriously wrong with her and she needs to get away from Kendall. I don't think he's good for her. I don't think he's like a terrible person, but I think that she's going to stay with him out of pity. And then it's just going to make everything a lot worse.
So when she initially got with Kendall, I never really believed it. Like when there was a moment where Miguel was sort of going after Nicole and they had great chemistry and she looked like she wanted just to hop into bed with him. She was like, oh, like you could tell. But then
Harrison, remember Harrison when Harrison came on? She was like, I'm really not into you, but like you could totally tell she loved him.
Yeah. And so it was just, and she also, by the way, when she first walked into the villa, she also liked Cordell, believe it or not, and they like made out, and so like it seemed like Kendall, when she wound up with Kendall, it was such a strange choice at that time, and but then I kind of got used to it. I eventually got used to it, and then I started to believe that she really does like him. But then when she didn't say "I love you" back initially, like that's within her right and everything, but it did make me wonder, like, what is the longevity here? Because whether or not she likes him, she has been burned so many times. And the question is she just trying to make this work because she wants to be with a nice guy? Or even if she does really care for him, something is her, the past trauma that she's had with these awful guys going to kind of undo her situation with him? Or is he just going to fuck it up by being just super annoying? I don't know, but I don't have as much an intense reaction as you.
I was with you wondering what it was, obviously. I thought that she was kind of trying to withhold it because, on Bachelor, they do that where and I'm sorry to keep comparing it, but it is really the same thing. They keep trying to withhold it for important tentpole moments on the show where it's like, oh, now you say I'm vulnerable. And that now you have them alone somewhere and you're about to get kicked off. So now's the time to tell them that your mom died in a train accident while, transferring puppies from Peru, or whatever your trauma is for that day. And so I thought maybe she was doing that. Like she's withholding the I love you for the special moment. But then I was like, you know what? I don't think it's normal whenever you're around somebody that you love to just start sobbing every single time. And I know they kind of all do that in a way, but everyone else has this like, oh my God, I'm so happy right now. I'm sobbing. And she literally has this like, oh my God, you're so nice. And I'm about to trample you. And I feel terrible after I've been the one trampled all these years. But that's just what I'm getting. Time will tell.
But but even the funny part is now sort of fast forwarding back to the finale, which was 2 hours. and definitely did not need to be 2 hours. But and I was like, the worst part, I just want to say, the worst part about Love Island is the way it ends, because they have to prove their whole reason for being there. So they have to pivot away from drama and lean into like romance, and like, this does work. This process works, guys. And so there's always these final dates which go on forever and are so uninteresting. And there's always this thing where they write like odes to each other, and it's like just like awful. It goes on and on and on and on. And I'm sorry that everyone has to go through it. I'm sorry that you had to go through it, as a first time viewer. It's just not.
Well, it's the end of a dating show, and that's what it is, But also Ariana spoiled it because she went on Aftersun. And she's like, so I can tell you what's going on. And because that's her Love Island voice, where she's like, girls. Like, she's totally different on this show. But anyway, she's like, I can totally tell you what the last dates are. And then she told us all the last dates. I was like, well, I guess watching someone get on an ATV isn't that much of a twist anyway. But I was like, thanks for spoiler alert, biatch. But it was.
Well, what I was going to say, though, is that the culmination of it, when they're reading their odes to each other or whatever, just going back to the Nicole thing, when she finally does profess her love for Kendall, she still doesn't say I love you. She goes, I'm in love with you. It's like, are you going to say I love you? Is that the same to say I'm in love with you as saying I love you?
No, but they make it that, they make it all these steps. Like, they make it a big deal to say, I love you, when they've sat there staring at each other and crying and sobbing over every little thing. Like, of course you're going to say that. You know what I mean? Like, why is it such a shock that anybody would say that on a show called Love Island, where you have to say it, not to like, question the, question the process, but it's like, come on, you guys, seriously.
Yeah. So the finale was this drawn out affair. So they all go on their dates. The first date, you can also see which ones the producers are pushing for, because basically Kendall and Nicole and Serena and Cordell get the best dates by far. So they get, like, the first one is Kendall and Nicole, they go parasailing. They're up in the air. It's beautiful. They go to a private island. They have this lunch under the blazing hot sun. Kendall is sweating the entire time. And, that may be the number one reason why she said she was not ready to say I love you. She was like, I was about to say it, but seeing how sweaty you are, I'm seeing, like, is this what my future is? Being with this sweaty man for the rest of my life? I don't know if I'm ready to accept this.
Well, I'm a sweaty person, so I can't really say much about it, unfortunately.
But I'm not.
I'm just going to sit here and be sad about it.
I'm a sweaty person too. I'm just saying she may not have been very interested in that moment. She's like, oh God, he's a heavy sweater. I don't know. This could be an issue for us.
Yeah.
She's having visions of the air conditioner being on really strong at night. And she's like, but I ran cold.
And this is where she was saying all the red flag things, like, God, normally the things you do I wouldn't like, but I do like them with you. And, look at you. It's just like when we met and you're still sweaty like that time. She said something like that, where she commented on how sweaty he was. And then he's just like falling all over himself, like, I can't wait to tell you. Like, I really, I'm in love with you. I'm in love with you. I'm in love. You don't have to say it. You don't have to say it. That's when he started that whole thing. That was a little cringe, but it was a very pretty date.
It was a very pretty date. And she's like, okay, if you sit right here, the sun is exactly behind you and you're just totally silhouetted and you kind of look like Harrison. So just say right there in that moment. Okay, thanks.
Yeah. So then who else went on a date? Well, they all went on a date. So,
Leah.
When did I go on my date? I just wanted to tell you, Kenny, I can't wait until we go on a date together, because then we can go in Texas and then we can dance together and then we can meet your mom and then we can play in the rain together and then we can do a dish at Kenny. And then whenever he speaks, she's like, shut up, Kenny. You're...
Yeah. It's like, wow, Janae, I think that's a great idea. I would love to do that. I hope that we can go on a date someday.
You know what?
He always sound?
He does.
Sounds like a puppet on a children's
he's in
show.
slow-mo. She's like, Kenny, what do you think we're going to do in real life when we're out of here, Kenny? What do you think we're going to do together? And he's like, I think that we're going to, like, get together because, like, it's going to be fun when you come home and then there's someone there at your house and you're not just alone after your 9 to 5. And she's like, wow. It's really romantic, Kenny. So you want to be with me, so there will be someone at your house when you come home from work. This sounds great. Sounds great for me.
You know what I want to do, Janae? I want to go on a date where we do the thing you get into the mud and they put the mud on your face, you know, and it's relaxing. Like a spa day?
A spa, Kenny?
Yeah.
Oh, Kenny, a spa, Kenny. Kenny. Yeah. Okay, Kenny, I want you to tell me, Kenny. Okay, how long do you think you need before you're ready to get married? And he's like, I think like 4 or 5 years. I'm like, so you think like 3 years? And he's like, maybe like 4 years. And she goes, okay, so what I'm getting from you is 3 years, Kenny. I can do that. It's like, you're just putting answers into his head. He's telling you 4 or 5 years. Don't make it 3. I don't know that those two are as compatible as we think, because every time she makes all this stuff up in her head, and then when he really starts speaking, she's like, Kenny, don't say that. You know?
I think they're actually perfect together, because I think he's like, oh, okay, because when he said 4, I think that children, he's like, I want to have 4 kids, and she goes, I want to have 2. She goes, but I want. He's like, but I want 4. She goes, okay, so we'll compromise at 2, or something like that. Or was it different?
Were they talking about kids?
I don't remember if it was kids, or I think they talked about 2 different things, to be honest. I think it was both. I don't remember, but she basically calls the shots, and I think he's just so happy to be just like, I think that sounds like a great idea. So then the second day was,
I can't wait to take you to put on jeans and cowboy boots and go to a rodeo. It's like, gross, Kenny.
And when they go on their date, they have letters from their moms, and so Kenny she reads a letter to him that's from her mom, from his mom.
Is this the one? No, this is the one where there's like shit hanging from the trees, right? And there's like hundreds of notes hanging, by the way, from the trees.
Yeah. So first they're like reading like little like quotes from the trees, and so she's crying, and they're all happy, and then they go and they sit down at dinner. And then they're just like talking at dinner, and then they go dancing. And then when they come back from dancing, they each have a letter at the table. And so
the show really relies on contact from the family. No, thank you. I don't want a tree of shit from my family. Like, mine would just be like, Ronnie, you've got fucking Bette Midler posture. Seriously, this is embarrassing. Straighten that.
I just want Bette Midler to be there on my date. She's like, ladies and gentlemen, Bette Midler, you are the wind beneath my wings. That's all you get, Love Island. You have to pay me more for the whole song.
Okay, go ahead. Love letters.
So yeah, so she reads the letter to Kenny from his mom. So then he opens up his letter and he goes, it's from your mommy. And then he reads the letter, and it's just like, you know, he's just like so every little surprise, his eyes just get really big, and his face is like, wow, like he's still amazed really by Peekaboo.
Yeah, he is. He's pretty amazed by everything that's happening, which is pretty cute, because he tried to hide it at first. At first, he was like, cool guy.
Yeah.
So let's see what else happened.
Leah and Miguel go on a date, and they get on an ATV. And it's funny because she's like, I've ridden this like once before, and Miguel's like, I've never ridden one of these, but get on board, sweetheart. And so then they ride this ATV, and I'm like, that's kind of dangerous for a date. Like, I don't trust these two on an ATV. But they get to some shitty little, you know, table that's up in the mountains that has like, there's like there's like a trellis and like some potted plants around. So they get kind of like a shitty date. You know, the producers were like, you guys are not like really our A story here. So we'll just give you something on top of a hill, and you guys can talk about our horses, and then you can go back to the villa.
Yeah. And they don't really seem, I mean, it's so weird because they do seem kind of into each other, but I just don't see it lasting very long with those two. I don't
see longevity there, even though I love them together. I don't see longevity.
I like them both separately. You know what really bothers me about them? I don't like that he's always holding against her personality. He's always making it sound like he's some fucking saint for forgiving her for going off that time about Aaron. And it really bothers me. Like, at the end, they all wrote speeches for each other, and his speech was like, well, I know that sometimes you only see the bad in yourself. Like that time you did. Like he didn't literally say it, but it's kind of like he's referencing that, like when he didn't like her personality that one time. And he's like, but you're getting so much better every day. It was something along those lines that just kind of, I just didn't like it. I was like, if you don't like someone,
Patronizing.
yeah, and well, and also it's like, well, you were bitchy that one time, which I don't like bitchy people because of my childhood. I don't like that kind of conflict. Well, guess what? When she gets mad, she's going to be like that. That's part of her personality. So you can't just be like, well, I like this part of you, but I don't like that part of you. And you're going to guilt her every time that part of her personality comes out. And I'm not saying we should all just be allowed to be rancid at all times or whatever, but I don't know. It's like, I didn't think she was that bad in that situation. Personally, I felt like Erin deserved it. So I was already on her side in that, but I just feel like it's never ending. It's like one thing that he keeps consistently holding over her and kind of holding over her head. And he doesn't seem to be terrible about it, but it does seem to be there and it seems to be brought up a lot. And I just don't like that. I want better for her. I want someone who's like, oh, I love that you told that fucking guy off. He deserved it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I need that kind of point of view if you're going to be with me long term, sir. Okay. Not that I'm projecting.
Right. Well, I just like that she's bringing back a super hot guy. I don't know why. I'm like, you know what? They'll have fun. They'll have
He
sex
is super
for a few
hot.
weeks.
Yeah, he is super
Yeah,
hot.
they'll have fun for a few. They'll have sex for a few weeks, and then he's gonna move on, and she'll move on, and it'll be great. Then the last date. Well, it was actually the third date. Janae and Kenny's was the last date, but the last one we've mentioned is Cordell and Serena, and they drive off in like this vintage car, and they get to this area where there's like a car trunk that's been converted into like a sofa, and there's all these flowers around, and they're gonna watch a movie that's like a retrospective of their romance. And Cordell's, I love Cordell, and I love how dim he is, but he's like so sweet. He's like, I've always wanted to do this. What do they call it? A drive-through? I'm like, it's a drive-in, sweetheart. Like a drive-through is McDonald's. Like, I love the idea that he might like he's always wanted to go to a drive-through.
And she is like, it's a drive-in. It's a drive-in. So they watched it, and it was cute. By the way, did you notice that What's-Her-Buns, Nicole, was trying to copy Serena's personality a little bit? Like, she's trying to copy her laugh. Because you know how Serena laughs like... She has like a squeal kind of laugh. And then this episode, Nicole was trying to do it. And I was like, Nicole, just stop, Nicole, stop it. Anyway, Serena and Cordell. Okay, so they go on this date. And Cordell is like amazed at everything. Like he wasn't even there the first time, which is really funny. He goes like 5 minutes into it. Because they did show up wearing matching outfits, which was super cute. Like they came in fluorescent green. And so like halfway through the movie, he goes, wow, we're kind of matching. It's like, okay. And then the little things that happen, he took note of. And then when he had to write the romantic letter, the only things that he mentioned were in that video. He was only repeating the things that they showed him clips of. And I was like, this poor thing can't even remember more than like 10 minutes ago. He's like, remember when we showed up wearing the same colors? I was like, yeah, you just got reminded 2 seconds ago. And you were shocked that even happened. So
they were like, well, the producers were like, well, we had to make this video so that way Cordell could remember anything to write about. So as long as we made this video, we might as well make it part of his date.
We're just giving him a cheat sheet.
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
They're like, for your date,
I love Cordell,
Serena will be wearing something that says, hello, my name is Serena. Like, wow.
I know.
I love your
Cordell
name.
just looks up and goes, shit, I'm dating you? Wow. It's amazing. I also liked when they got back from their dates, they would all they'd come back and be like, tell everyone about their dates. And for some reason, it cracked me up that when Janae and Kenny got back from their dates, Janae was like, so it was really pretty. And we got letters from our moms. And everyone just clapped. Everyone goes, oh! I was like, wow, you guys are bored. You guys are bored.
Well, yeah, whenever anybody came back, they're like, oh my
God. They served us orange juice. No, stop it. Tell us more. They have nothing to do in that villa.
So, God, this has been a really fun 10-minute mini recap. Hey, so let's go. Let's talk about the end.
Yeah, let's talk about it. So, first of all, Nicole. My big critique of Nicole was that dress she was wearing for the end, like that kind of like that light blue. It was actually Crappens blue, but it was like draped and wrapped around a thing. It looked crazy, and I was like, "Really? This is how you're going to end the show with this?" But that's just my note. So anyway, they all do their.
Well,
they
you
all
just
do their
reminded me of
moves.
another Nicole thing. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but in the last episode, the last big real episode, when they were kicking off people, and someone was safe. I think Kayla and Aaron were safe, and Kayla and Aaron were kicked off, and Leah and Miguel, I think, were safe. And then it looked like Nicole and Kendall were really mad, and the internet got super pissed off about that because they looked
Yeah,
really
the internet
bad.
got really mad at that.
Yeah, what do you
Got
think that
really
was
mad.
about? I think it was just that they were friends with Kayla and Aaron, right? And the other people like have their trio. Like the girl,
Yeah, I
those
don't know
girls,
what
the
that's
three, Leah, Serena, and Janae all have their kind of trio of besties, right? And Nicole's not included in that. And
know,
it's
that's-
really awkward that Nicole's not, because now all the other girls are like, we're just like sisters. Nicole's like,
They
hi
keep
guys.
on doing that.
Yeah.
They keep on doing that. Like I was like, this is kind of obnoxious because I feel like at every moment Leah's like, and I found like my sisters for life.
Not you, Nicole.
Serena.
Not you.
Yeah. They even said at one point, she's like, Serena and Janae, and we've adopted Nicole. And Nicole's like, thanks for welcoming. Like they remember, like you know what it was? Miguel and when Miguel and Leah were safe, didn't Leah and Serena and Janae have this giant long hug? Didn't that happen right then? And it went on forever. And like Nicole's like, well, I guess I'm not worthy of a hug in this instance. So, okay, I see where I stand.
Yeah, so I think that's why that they were mad, but I guess that they were just closer with Aaron and Kayla or whatever. I mean, I don't know. I didn't take it as being that offensive, but then after I saw the internet do it, I watched some clips and I was like, oh, wow, that did seem kind of shady that they were acting like that. But I didn't know if there was something that I was missing because,
Yeah, I don't know either. I mean, Kendall was best friends with Rob, so... Or he claimed, I don't know if Rob was best friends with Kendall, but Kendall was best friends with Rob.
You don't have to call me your best friend. You don't have to call me your best friend right now. But when you're ready to call me your best friend, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there right outside your window, probably. Just open your window. I'll be there waiting. Not waiting desperately, but waiting nonetheless.
So, Ariana comes out and they line up, and Kendall and Nicole are out first, which was, I was really surprised. And then third place went to Janae and Kenny, which is about right, just because they're so new. And I guess they're not that new, though, but they're new enough. And
I wasn't surprised about Nicole because I feel like her game plan didn't work out of like withholding, because she did finally say, I love you to Kendall.
Right.
Well, I'm in love with you, which you said. She finally did that. I don't think that it worked out for her like she wanted, because I think people were like, well, how can you win? We're not voting for you if you didn't even say I love you,
Right. And then Kendall, once they were out, I was like, it's got to be Cordell and Serena, because they were the closest competition, I thought. So of course, Leah and Miguel, came in second. They were shocked. I think they were absolutely shocked that they were up there, like as in second place. But it was ultimately Serena and Cordell, and it was so cute. And then they go through this thing. They do it every single year, and it's so strange. Where like after they have won, then they're like, one person gets 100,000, one gets 0. Are they going to choose love or money? And like in all the seasons I've ever watched, no one's ever chosen the money. And it's weird because they never play up that angle. They never play up this angle like, it's not like Fuckboy Island where it's like, are they here for the right reasons? Are they here just for the money? Like all season long, they never really mention it. They don't make it like a thing that's in the back of our head. It's just like this, oh, here's an interesting, question to ask right at the end. Do you really love this person, or do you want to take $100,000? And they're always going to go for the person, even if they want the $100,000, because they know they would look like such a big dick to do it.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to like pretend at least for 1 second that they're any kind of a game, because
yeah.
There's nothing making this a game. I don't understand how this is a game at all. It's just like semi-hot people sitting around talking about feelings that they're just faking to get Instagram likes to me. But it's still fun. So I think that they're just like, remember, it's a game show. Now, did you see the preview? Did you see the preview for the show that's going to come on, that's going to take over the country next? It's about the footballers living in a house, and then they have to pick all these girls, and then the girls are competing for the footballers in the house.
Footballers, like British footballers, or like American football? Oh, yeah. I did not see that at all. That's interesting. And we see that, by the way, there is going to be a Love Island reunion. Ariana's like, guys, I'll be seeing you all very soon. because we'll all be back together. I'm like, come on, Maria, spit it out. Just say it. She's like, the Love Island reunion on August 19th. So we're going to wait a month for that reunion. I imagine the game plan is let some other shoes drop a little bit. Now they get to the outside world, see who's still friends with who, see who's going to break up.
And the classic, you got to watch the show to see what shit everybody talked about you. So they have to get mad about whatever was on the show, right?
They got to see all of that. They got to just sort of build and like let people who are behind on the Love Island train catch up a little bit. So looking forward to that.
We'll see, everybody. Well, this was super fun. This was a fun little jaunt into a crazy world.
I'm so proud of you, Ronnie. I'm so proud of you that you finally dipped your toes into Love Island.
Yeah, it was fun times.
It was a full foot. It's a full foot. It wasn't just a toe dip.
Well, that was a good time. Thanks so much, everybody, for being with us on this very special month of craziness with Love Island over here on Patreon. This has been a really, really good time.
It has been so fun. Thanks, everyone. And thank you. Thank you, love. Thank you, Cupid. And we'll catch you on the next one. Bye, everyone.
Watch what Crappens would like to thank its premium sponsors.
Ain't no thing like Allison King.
Ashley Savoni, she don't take no baloney.
Strolling the park with Caitlin Clark.
She's not just a Sheila, she's a Daniela. Itchels. Aaron McNicholas, she don't miss no trickolas.
She's never scary. It's the Green Fairy.
Jamie, she has no last namey.
Hava Nagila Weber. Know your worth with Jason Kurth.
Sipped some scotch with Jessica Trotch.
She's always supplying. It's Kelly Ryan.
Kristen the Piston Anderson. Let's give a kisserino to Lisa Lino. We want to hang with Liz Lang. Megan Berg. You can't have a burger without the Berg.
The Bay Area Betches. Betches.
And our super premium sponsors.
Somebody get us 10 cc's of Betsy MD.
We're taking the gold with Brenda Silva.
Let's get real with Caitlin O'Neill.
Don't get salty with Christine Pepper. Can't have a meal without the Emily Sides.
Nobody holds a candle to Jamie Kendall. We got our wish. It's Jen Plish.
She's not harsh. She's Jill Hirsch.
She's a little bit loony. Junie. My favorite Murdo, Karen McMurdo.
We love him madly. It's Kyle Pod Shadley.
Let's go on a bender with Lauren Fender. The incredible edible Matthews sisters.
Give him hell, Miss Noel.
Ring that bell pour Rachel.
She's the queen bee, it's Sarah Lemke. Shannon, out of a cannon, Anthony. Let's take off with Tamla Plain.
She ain't no shrinking Violet Kuchar.